They will coach and have reference points during the experience. Then they have hot debriefs, so it's just immediately afterwards, how did that go? And then there are deeper reflections.
But another email through. As a senior person, I frankly don't have the time to coach and mentor in the way that I was. It's so much more focused and driven now. I honestly don't think the playing field is the same. How the heck do I grow people? And he's put, I mean really, exclamation mark.
Well, you do have time to coach and you do have time to mentor, and it is fair to say that there is a speed in the world now that didn't exist some time ago. I was coaching somebody recently and an individual with a level of maturity in terms of their age, and they said something quite specific which really stuck with me, which was, I've noticed that I think I'm robbing people of their experience. And that was a really key phrase for me, because what they meant when they said that was, when I was younger, I was given a buffer to get things wrong and I would be invested in terms of being coached. But with the advent of technology and the way that the whole kind of global marketplace has gone, the expectation has increased. And back in the day when you felt you had time, that feels as if it's been taken from you. So what I've done is become more micromanaging. What I've come is become more autocratic. So I don't coach, and I've then taken away people's ability to grow. And he had that observation of himself. So I don't think that's unusual. I think that exists for a lot of people. But here's what I've really noticed is that when you look at the emergency services, for example, or you look at the military, they are particularly good at coaching in real time. And they do that very specifically because the thing that they're doing very often has people's lives at stake, and the chances are they're going to do it again. So one of my little boys had an asthma attack some time ago, and an ambulance turned up. They were absolutely fantastic. And as we were going to A&E, he's all fine now, but as we were going to A&E, they started to coach and debrief in the ambulance as we were going to A&E. And I was overwhelmed by that. I mean, in retrospect, I was thinking, why do they do that? And I actually had a conversation with them and they said, well, because we might be doing it again in a minute. And if there's something to learn, then we need to take that learning from it. And that really says, well, hold on. It doesn't matter what we're doing in the commercial world compared to what somebody as a ambulance response is doing. We're doing stuff that's relatively insignificant compared to what they're doing. And yet they find time to coach and to debrief and to mentor in real time. I've got another friend who's in the fire brigade, and very often, even in the moment when somebody's doing something new for the first time, as long as it's not fundamentally life-threatening, they will coach and have reference points during the experience. Then they have hot debriefs, so it's just immediately afterwards, how did that go? And then there are deeper reflections. So I'm going to say you do have time. I'm going to say that you not so much need to find the time, you need to find the headspace, and you need to find the craft and the methodology, and not to see it as a separate action, but that's part of what is happening in the day. If you have a relationship with feedback and coaching and mentoring that is as much as possible in the moment and reflective of the experiences, they don't build up to require very often larger interactions. And then think about other vocationally based workplaces where that kind of behavior is absolutely in the DNA strand of what they do. And to be quite honest, if those people can find the time to do it, then you absolutely can as well. So it's not how do I coach, it's not how do I mentor, and actually it's not where does the time come from. Well, it's already there, and you have to find a way, because there are 100 moments. If you can park your own agenda and you can silence your own voice and think about the needs of the other person and understand that that seed that you plant benefits you quite quickly, if you find the time to do it, that is the headspace that you need to find. And one last thing, imagine you're at an interview. You've heard me do this before, I'm sure, which is, and somebody said, talk to me about how you coach people when the role is so demanding and so busy. You would not say, I probably wouldn't, I'd be too busy. You talk about how you'd entwine it into what you do. You talk about how you'd find space for it because you understand how important it is. So think about what you'd say at interview and do that.